Alright, let's get into the news of the day. So, it's been a sort of a weird week. Still more delays, so there's going to be a lot of ones just marking off delays. But again, everything's just being pushed back. We're just gonna, it'll just be all buffered up, and then I'll have just too much news to get through at some point. So, you know. So this will be the news for the 8th of June. Let's start off strong-ish, weirdly. So I talked last time about Sega's moving into fog gaming at the arcades, and their weird device, like the micro Sega Saturns, Sega Game Gear, sorry. But they also, if you've been following Sega Sanshiro, his son, Sagata Sanshiro, they had like a little mini series, so you should go check out the 3 different videos. But basically, Sanshiro reappears in the ending of it and tells him to move on and to take over and stuff. It's a fun little ad, and then he throws him into the stars. Yeah. So really, it's just this to mark that that Sega are wanting to push forward. They've talked about a whole heap of stuff they're going to do, so who knows? Sega may come back strong if they get money from this fog gaming stuff, and really push into the gaming market again, outside of just a few different IPs. But yeah, that was a fun set of ads, so I do suggest checking them out. Japanese ads are just sometimes just ridiculous, and they're okay with it. Kingdoms Amalur: Re-Reckoning. It's a remaster, has been listed for multiple console platforms and stuff. So it looks like this one's actually been updated. So, and yeah, so they confirmed it. Originally it sort of came out, and people didn't really know if it was actually the game coming out, but yeah, apparently it is. It's the full game, it's all its DLC, all remastered. So if you're a fan of Kingdoms of Amalur, good news for you, you get a remaster. Excuse me. EVO Online registration will begin on June 5th, so it's already passed. So if you want to join and play at EVO Online, which means that there's very little restrictions, you can sign up. Anyone in Canada, Europe, Japan, Mexico, South Korea, United States, no Australia. So, thanks for the host, Genki. It's going to be quite interesting because the games lined up they have is Them's Fightin' Herds, Skullgirls, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat 11. I believe there's 2 other ones, but I think they're exhibitions. I think these are the open schedule stuff. And yeah, if you're into fighting games, if you think you're good enough, go sign up. I'm excited to see how this turns out. These are all games I would watch, apart from Mortal Kombat, I think. But they all have excellent netcode, and yeah. So let's see how an online-focused version of EVO turns out, shall we? EVO actually starts... Do they have the date on here? They have the dates of when it starts. So July 11th, so just only like 3 or 4 days away. So pretty exciting. Oh, wait. Them's Fightin' Herd was first up on... I think... Oh, this might be just opening up sign-ups for each of them, maybe. I think, maybe? Huh. Have I already missed Them Fightin' Herds? I might have to look that up. I'm curious. But yeah, fighting games. Monster Hunter's next title release, with Alterion and a few other extra updates, they're still delaying it. They're still working on it. which is okay. But we still haven't got a date, but it sounds like they're going to do another little news segment sometime soon. I like them sitting down and talking to us. So their little directs they do for each of the content updates, which is very Japanese, are very good, and I'm always excited for them as a massive Monster Hunter fan. So stay tuned to that. So these sorts of things come about. A lot of gaming stuff, unfortunately, they can't get away with everything they do. Like there's a lot of like good things, bad things that happens with video games in terms of purchasing, selling, whatever. Apparently, Sony has been fined in multiple locations, including Australia, for misleading refund advice for PlayStation users. So that would be a class action lawsuit was probably being used against it. It being pushed by the Australian consumer laws. There's also been in Europe as well. Just happens. This stuff happens because it's very hard to keep all countries happy with the same form of service, and places like Australia are a lot more stringent on consumer laws. England and Germany as well. So, yeah. You never got money back for your refunding of Last of Us 2? Yeah, then that would be a part of this then. It's like, I would imagine, I don't know if you would be able to get a part of it, but it's, there is like class action lawsuits that are related around that stuff, which, I don't know how that works in terms of getting money back and stuff, but yeah, it can be pretty bad at times. Whether it be Steam, Nintendo, PlayStation and Xbox, like all of them have their issues with stuff like that. Steam is probably one of the primary ones you hear about coming up in Australia, at least, of getting the whip being cracked on them because, or not the whip, but like cracking on the knuckles because they just get away with a lot of stuff. They try to get away with a lot of stuff because it's so just an open service that anyone can put up games and stuff like that, and then they try to do very minor management and stuff. So, yeah, if you look at your consumer laws for your country, you should be able to get involved, get in contact with particular individuals if you really want to. There is like law stuff. You should be protected. I don't really know how much in America because it seems like I don't really hear too much about that with Americans. But yeah, definitely look into it if if you're frustrated and you're not getting your money back on particular titles, just, yeah, you should be getting your money back. Oh, this was an interesting one. So, Sim Refinery, a lost training simulator for Maxis has been recovered. So, if you were ever back in the day, I've talked about a few different sim games that were just fun and crazy, and I probably will play one or two of them on stream because they're just so odd. Like Sim Ant and stuff like that. People know like The Sims, but The Sims used to be a part of like a collection of other games that were like Sim Thing, Sim whatever. So it was like Sim Zoo, Sim Tunes and stuff. But Sim Refinery was one that never apparently came out. Thanks, Jimmy. And they've somehow got their hands on it, which is pretty cool. But the big thing people are talking about is that actually it kind of plays like Factorio. So if you've ever played SimCity, you probably sort of understand sort of what this game sort of looks like. Oh, this is a very small screenshot. But yeah, like it kind of, you can see it's very old school. Apparently it was developed for a particular company, just as a training thing. I don't really understand how a game like that would necessarily act as training, but if you played Factorio or things like that, or any of those production line games, yeah, you could have been playing a version of one of these a lot earlier, which I find incredibly interesting. But sometimes that just comes up with the games industry. Sometimes relics just get found, and yeah, pretty cool. NetEase launches a Tokyo-based studio. So NetEase is I believe it's a Chinese-based company. Not actually 100% sure. Let's have a look. See, NetEase games. I'm trying to think of what games you guys might know. What I would know. You know, they had some down there. These look like, yeah, so these might be like Chinese first games, so it's not really stuff that we would know per se. But very big Chinese company. They are setting up a studio in Japan, which is always an interesting thing to see. If they're big enough to do that, they're probably big enough to make a pretty decently sized title. I would imagine they are, I believe they're like a AAA company in China. As limited as that can be. And yeah, I think keep an eye out for them. There's quite a lot of Chinese gaming stuff that's happening in the past few years. So it's going to be really, really interesting to keep an eye on what they're doing with the industry. All right, here we go. We have to get back into the delay news. So we know about why all the delay news stuff is happening. All the Black Lives Movement has impacted a lot of the game stuff, and that's fine. I've talked about it last time. It's totally fine if they feel that they need to delay to send a message or just for business. Either way, it's fine. We're consumers at the end of the day. It's not going to ruin our lives. So we have quite a few little updates to some of them. Some of them actually have been pushed back further. So, hey Red Bunny, one more week for the future game show. Yeah, we're so close on getting a whole heap of this stuff. Yeah, as you'll see, a lot of the dates will probably be around like next week mark. So when I come back, hopefully we have a bit more news. Hopefully news will start ramping up. I believe actually one or two might start tomorrow, or yeah, I think a couple start tomorrow, so we'll see. It might be amongst them. So first off is Guerrilla's Collective postponed to 13th to the 15th. Next up we have EA Plays being delayed to June 18th. You'll notice that they're all spaced out, they're not all on the same day, so they've given each other breathing room. The Steam Game Festival delayed to June 16th. Not that one. Here we go. The Indie Live Expo. This is the Indie Live Expo awards. This one will be heavily delayed. So this is November 11th. I don't think it was about that time. Indie Live Expo that was held yesterday on June 6th is set to return again. Did I miss something on June 6th? I might have to look at that. We might go look at that at some point. I feel like I missed something. Oh no, that would explain a lot of the indie stuff. Yeah, alright. I'll have to go watch that. I don't know if I'll do a Let's Watch for it, but we'll see. Because there was a lot of indie stuff that came up, just in terms of lots of individual news, but I didn't cover it. They had to reschedule it, but you're hyped because you're praying for Bayo 3 news. I mean, I would hope so. I wouldn't be surprised if Bayo 3 again would be just like Nintendo exclusive, but or Nintendo first exclusive. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so Indie Live Expo 2, we're looking at November 7th for that, so it's a while away. So there's a few other little bits of news for delays and stuff, but it doesn't look like I grabbed them all. But so we'll just move back into the normal news. Oh, actually, before we do that, we'll go into this one. So the bundle for Racial Justice and Equality 7 sells over 740 games for just $5. So I went and grabbed this bundle because there was a few games on there that I didn't have. If you may not have heard of this platform, but itch.io is the biggest indie games platform. Pretty much anyone can put games up there. They can be just all over the place. You can get very low quality games, high quality games. They can be at various prices. It's yeah, I'm super happy that they did this. As a lot of games, that's a heck of a lot of games. 740 games for $5. Now, a lot of these games might only be like a couple of minutes long, like 15 minutes long at most, or some of them could be like a few hours, depending on what they are. Again, quality difference and stuff like that. But yeah, Pretty cool to see. So if you just want a crap ton of like weird little indie games, you should go check this out. All proceeds go to for the bundle go to racial justice and equality. So yeah, very, very good. In the trailer of the future game show, they showed a little teaser of Bayo 3. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so we got a big lot of news when a lot of those press conferences coming out. Ooh, because this is a quiet year in gaming. Like I say this, we pretty much get like 2 years on, 1 year off with video games, where it's like a good year of like AA's and AAA mix, and then a more of a AAA one with less AA's, and then really a cool off year that's sort of got like some indie focus and stuff like that, which feels like this year. So next year will probably be back into AA, AAA territory. So I guess we'll stay tuned. Square Enix is developing an action game with Dragon's Dogma lead Ryota Suzuki. So Ryota he was recently working on Devil May Cry 5. I believe he was the combat designer. Yeah, he's the designer for DMC5, Dragon's Dogma. He also worked on a few titles when he worked at Capcom, and helped with the Monster Hunter World expansion. Yeah, he's a cool dude. He does like design works, battle works. Very, very cool dude. Cool to see him here. And it looks like he's moving over to Square. Square is, yeah. Don't know if... the weird part is they're talking about an action game, like as in it's a new IP. And it's like, to me, it's like, well, it's a new AAA title. To me, it could mean Remake 2, because Remake 2 has only just started production. But who knows? Who really knows with this? Could be a new IP entirely. Square seems to be like more okay these days with making just random new IPs. But as I've always said, the more action games, the better. I just want to play action multiplayer games. It's my thing. I love them so much. So I'm really excited for this. Especially because it's going on this year. It's all been so quiet. Yeah, this has been a rough year for video games, just in general. I have a couple of smaller news now, just to wind off. We have Dead Rising 5's Capcom Vancouver shattering attribute to the executive and communication issues. So this pretty much is an article that just covers, so if you're interested, Game History basically have done a video on what happened to the development of Dead Rising 5. It's been Capcom Vancouver had a really rough time. That game had a really rough development. It sounds like there was bad sort of information going back and forth between Japan and Canada. Yeah. If you're interested, go check out Robertson's. I'm trying to remember his name, but Game History Secrets. He has a really, really good channel. So I suggest go checking out that channel if you're interested. And yeah, you can get some understanding of sort of some of the behind the scenes of development and what goes through their minds and all the business stuff. Sales have been amazing. Yeah. There's some games have sold really well this year. It's probably because of the fact there's been so much less things to buy. Another little fun one. This is a fun one. Pokemon cartoon, Scraggy and Mimikyu chasing the beans. So this is just a weird little cartoon that's in Looney Tunes style. Pokemon haven't really done some shorts for a while, but this one's in a completely different art style. They try to capture that old American cartoon style, and I think it turned out pretty well. It's probably not my style of humor, but it's just a fun little thing to see. So yeah, if you like Pokemon and you like little cartoons, go check out their short. It's I think it's on the Japanese Pokemon channel. So yeah. Included with so additionally to the Capcom Dead Rising thing we were just talking about, there were also a list of cancelled games and rejected pitches, including a new IP and Dino Crisis. Which, yeah, I have a few people that I know that are super into Dino Crisis, and the wild thing, there was one based on Ghosts and Goblins. Oh, interesting. Have I watched it? Have I watched this game, History Secrets? No, I haven't watched it. I only woke up this little while back, so if you guys have watched this, you probably have better info than me. But yeah. The idea that another Dino Crisis could come about, and spin-off for RE, and possibly an Onimusha. Man, people have talked about Onimusha. So the reason why I wanted to talk about the Capcom Vancouver listing stuff is because of Capcom talking about their big three that they wanted for the next year. Yeah. Have I watched the Poke-Tunes? Yeah, I watched it. It's not my type of humor, like I said, but it was fun enough. I actually like the old Pokemon shorts that went with a lot of the movies, but yeah, that one I think is just a nice homage. And so hopefully, my opinion is that I would like to see more of that sort of thing, but probably over a few various like different art styles, like try and capture a whole heap of different animation art styles. But yeah, with Capcom, they were talking about making 3 AAA IPs, like, to be their pillars for next year, and that they would either announce them or be releasing them. And people pretty much believe that will mean that they are working on a new RE, so that will be RE8's probably announcement. It probably means new Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter sold so well that there's no way they're not working on Monster Hunter World 2. And the third one, people aren't sure. Really one of those things that it's like, who knows? What do you want to add, Red Bunny? People, I talked about it with mates, and it's like, it could be Street Fighter, could be, but they've downsized their fighting division so heavily. I don't think it'd be Marvel vs. Capcom, because I think that last one put so much bad blood between those two companies. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I think it's one of those things where we hopefully will get some sort of an announcement in the next like few months, but I kind of feel like it could be something new. Did I get the link? Did you message me directly on YouTube? Give me 2 seconds. You put it in chat. I think YouTube deletes links, I think. I can't see it. Carl in Sonic Forces. Wait, so Sonic Forces, the mobile game? Oh, okay. Do we have a... I can't even find a good article. Let's just go with this one. Sonic Stadium's old and big. So yeah, I guess they're adding... I didn't even know there was a mobile Sonic Forces game, I'll be honest. I don't even know how that game plays. Which is a limited time event. Is it just the Sonic Forces game, but it's just on mobile? I don't understand. Why is it? Okay. They did it today. Oh, wow. Hot news, guys. Hot, fresh news. I just want to see what how this game plays. So, so it's kind of like one of those endless runners, I guess. It's kind of Sonic Adventure 3, Battle 3 in the future. I mean, I would love that. They've talked about, it's interesting with Sega because they've talked about how they want to return to Sonic older stuff, but in a different way. So I'm wondering, you're really into mobile games? Yeah, that feels like a younger generation thing. Mobile games to me are just, they've not got enough substance. They're just sort of there in a lot of cases. But it's interesting to see that it pushes other AAA games sometimes. Like they use it to fund other things. But yeah. So this looks a lot like there's an old Sonic mobile game that it was pretty much the same thing, but it was a single player one, so... Whoa, it's a 4-hour video. What? Dang, check that out. It's a 4-hour long video. Well, I guess we're not doing a Let's Watch of this. So... this explains where a lot of games came about. Oh look, Toby Fox is here. So... I'll have to watch that later. But that's a long thing to watch. So we're not doing a Let's Watch of that, it looks like. So... Cool. Alright, that'll be all the news for today. Let's swap back to chat and I'll set up the next game. Well, I'll set up the game for today.